Welcome to MTG Ectoplasm, your home for spirits and spirit decks in the world of Magic the Gathering. On this episode, this special episode, we're doing a Spirit Commander Draft Spectacular. Are you wondering what that is? Well, there's only one way to find out, and it's to listen to this show. You know what? Let's get this thing started, shall we? Let's go. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me on this episode of MTG Ectoplasm. I'm your host, Dwight, aka Dblanco, a medium that wears an extra large. Well, I have a special guest with me tonight because this is a big show. And who do I have with me? My wonderful, my beautiful, my ravishing wife, Renata.
Hey there, everyone.
There you go. Now, I know many of you have questions like, Dwight, Spirit Commander Draft Spectacular? What the hell are you talking about? Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Every sports league, they go around picking some of the best players out there so they can join their league. Well, you know what? I decided that Magic needs their own unique Commander draft. So I went out and I reached out to people whom I value and who I respect. I grabbed deck masters, interviewees, and I also got a listener. Oh, you're right. You're right here. I got a listener. Now, each individual was placed in a random order by the draw of dice. All right? So I don't want you thinking there was any shenanigans. Everybody was selected at a unique spot. Now, at the number one, with the number one pick, shall I say, coming to the podium is Nickachu MTG. Now, I hope you know who Nickachu MTG is. He's the Merfolk Master. He's the individual who knows the ins and outs of Modern. He has a show Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern on YouTube called Coffee and MTG. If you're not watching the show, I don't know what's wrong with you. You need to watch it. It's a moral imperative. No ifs or buts about it. Now, Nickachu MTG with the number one pick in the Spirit Commander Draft Spectacular chose
Brago, King Eternal.
Brago, King Eternal. What a great selection at number one. I couldn't ask for anything else. Now, Renata, tell us about Brago.
2 generic white-blue. It's a legendary creature, spirit. Power of 2 and a toughness of 4. Flying. Whenever Brago, King Eternal, deals combat damage to a player, exile any number of target non-land permanents you control. Then return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control.
That's a great selection right there. Great selection. Now, let's see why Nickachu MTG selected this Brago. He says, Brago seems broken. A 2/4 for a reasonable cost and blinks for value? Damn straight it does. At least, the least gives some sort of pseudo-vigilance. You know what? He's 100% right, ladies and gentlemen. And Brago, being the number one pick, he couldn't go wrong. Bravo, Nickachu. Number one, Brago. Now coming to the podium with the number 2 pick, Jerry Carter. Jerry Carter is a listener to the show. He joined up very early. You know what? I asked him several 1,000 questions. And you know what? I appreciate him constantly listening. I appreciate you, the listener, listening to the show. The hundreds and hundreds of you nationally and internationally. So, Jerry Carter, with the listener, with the number 2 pick, he selects
Geist of Saint Traft.
Geist of Saint Traft. Wow. At number 2, that's I don't know, but that's still you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with Geist of Saint Traft. Let us know a little bit more.
1 generic white-blue, legendary creature, spirit cleric. Power of 2 and a toughness of 4. Hexproof. This creature can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control. Whenever Geist of Saint Traft attacks, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying that's tapped and attacking. Exile that token at the end of combat.
Well, look at that. You know what? Geist is pretty badass. Pretty badass. Let's see what Jerry says about Geist and why he selected him. It says here that it was his first commander. Oh, tugs on your heartstrings there. Great art with an angel over his shoulder and ready to follow him into battle. You know, I like how Jerry thinks because he's right. The Geist is going out there and want to kick some ass, and he's like, hey, Angel, come and join me. It's great backup and attacks. Hexproof Azorius, a great card. You know what, Jerry? You're 100% right. It is a great card. Now, with the number 3 pick coming to the podium, Nick, the Death Shadow Master. Now, if you didn't hear my interview, this is an interview that happened, I believe, last week or a week before, where we broke down John Jazz Death Shadow. And he warned you that Grixis Death Shadow is coming. And he ain't wrong. He's 100% right. If you look at the listings right now at MTG Goldfish, you know what? Grixis is coming hard. Death Shadow Grixis is coming really hard. Now, with the number 3 pick, Nick selected
Tessa Orzhov Scion.
Tessa Orzhov Scion, the first non-spirit, but does work with spirits. Renata, let us know a little bit more about Tessa Orzhov Scion.
1 generic white-black. It's a legendary creature, human advisor. Power of 2 and a toughness of 3. Sacrifice 3 white creatures. Exile target creature. Whenever another black creature you control dies, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying.
Wow. Great card. It is truly a great card. Now, if anybody knows Nick, like I know Nick, he wrote us a dissertation here. All right. He drew, diagrams. He outlined, like, Renata, am I wrong here? I mean, look at the sheet.
No, it's
long.
It's long.
So let's read what Nick says here. Although not a spirit, she can either go wide or make infinite spirits. Use these spirits as a resource to go for an infinite win. Now, there's different ways you can combo. He went through the whole thing, talking about Darkest Hour, Tessa, and using fogs. There's a lot here. I'll have to end up posting it, but he goes. Let me break down one of them. He goes Tessa, Darkest Hour, blasting station, game over. Tessa, Darkest Hour, any Zulapuk throat like creature, sack engine, game over. Darkest Hour, you sacrifice 3 spirits, you get infinite spirits. Add Throne of the God Pharaoh. Once you swing, it's game over, even if your opponents have a fog. You know what? Great selection. Tessa, Orzhov Scion. Man, I didn't expect Tessa this soon. I expected her further along, but as a first non-spirit, great selection. Now, coming to the podium with the number 4 pick is Testacular. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't remember Testacular, he was on our show, I think last week. It was Peter Valko and Ben. Don't worry, those two are coming on later on the show. And we broke down how Testacular went 5-0 in a legacy league. 5-0 in a legacy league using Azorius. And now he I don't know if you listened to the weird part of the show. He said that Spell Queller was a little meh on the deck. You got to go back and listen to it. Great episode. Now, with the number 4 pick, Testacular selects
Carador, Ghost Chieftain.
Wow. Carador Ghost Chieftain. That is a great selection. I would have not picked him at 4, but still great selection. This is a card that has value. Renata, tell us more.
5 generic, white, black, green. Legendary creature. It's a centaur spirit. Power of 3 and a toughness of 4. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature card in your graveyard. During each of your turns, you may cast a creature spell from your graveyard.
Wow. Carador. Carador is pretty badass. Let's see what Testacular says. Testacular says this. Carador is easy to enable. Fill up your graveyard with different creatures. Survival of the fittest is the best way to do it. And then you get Carador down on turns 4 or 5. Start casting threats from your graveyard. Insane card advantage and an engine to play off of the entire game. You know what? It's a great card. Bravo. Bravo, Carador. Bravo, Testacular. Coming to the podium at number 5. Tuesday Tastic. Tuesday Tastic, my man, comes to the podium at number 5. Now, I had this young man on. He's one of these people. He is a spirit content maker. I watched him when I broke my back, and this young man means a lot to me. He knows a lot about spirits, and I can tell you, you need to go to his webpage. I wish I had it on me, damn it, but I forgot to write it down. You know what? Just look up Tuesday Tastic Spirits. I guarantee his webpage will be up there, and you can see his latest and greatest articles that he does there. Now, with the number 5 pick, Tuesday Tastic selects
The Lissy, Reverent Medium.
the Lisi Reverent Median. Wow. Wow. Great selection. Great selection. This was one I expected sooner than later, but Tuesday Tastic picked it up in the number 5 slot. Bravo. Tell us more about this card, Renata.
3 generic, white, black. Legendary creature, human cleric. Power of 3, toughness of 4. At the beginning of each end step, create X 1/1 white spirit tokens with flying, where X is the number of tokens you created this turn.
Now, what surprised me with this is this is another card that's not a spirit, but does deal with spirits. This is what Tuesday Tastic said about Thesa Reverent Medium. He wishes that it was an Esper. Well, don't we all? But you can't get everything. He's 100% right. She is probably the best engine for creating spirits ever. Well, this is an argument I would love to see Nick and him have, but you know, he's got a point. Follow her with a Lingering Souls, and you are swimming with tokens. You know what? I might have to build this deck just because Tuesday said so. Now, ladies and gentlemen, going to the podium, Andre Segera, the Spirit Master. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I've been talking to him off and off, here and there. I'm trying to get him on the show. Andre Segera, the Spirit Master. Now, I'm happy. I'm jovial. I'm giddy that he joined us for this episode. Now, Andre Segera with the number 6 pick in the Spirit Commander Draft Spectacular chooses
Vega, the Watcher.
Vega the Watcher. Wow. This is a pick that I thought was going to come up earlier. This is a steal from Andre. This is an absolute steal for Andre. Great selection. Tell us more about Vega.
1 generic white-blue, legendary creature, bird spirit. Power of 2 and a toughness of 2. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, draw a card.
Now, what Andre says here is that in EDH, having a commander that can outdraw an entire deck by itself seems sweet. He's right. Especially when it costs 3 and Azorius. It also combos nicely with all kinds of decks like Future Sight, Foretell, and even Flashback. There is variety. You know what? He's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't made a Vega deck in Commander, I'm telling you now, if this Spirit Master selected this and said yes to this, you may want to consider it. Bravo. Bravo, Andre Segera. Now, coming to the podium at number 7, Ben. Ben coming to the podium at number 7. Now, Ben is the group whom I call Testacular. There's Testacular 7 on Twitter, and then his boy Ben. Ben is the gentleman who built that 5-0 legacy deck that Testacular piloted. This young man has a lot of insight. He knows his magic through and through. Now, with the 7th pick, Ben selects
Raynor, the Ever Watchful.
Raynor the Ever Watchful. Wow, this is a card that I thought was going to go sooner. Ben stole my pick. I'm a little upset. Ben stole my pick, but it is what it is. Now, Renata, tell us more about Raynor.
2 generic white-blue, legendary creature. This is a spirit warrior. Power of 2, toughness of 3, flying, vigilance. The first card you foretell, each turn costs 0 to foretell. Whenever a spell or ability you control exiles 1 or more cards from your hand and or permanents from the battlefield, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying.
Wow. Raynor's, since he got released in the last Commander Kalheim, I've been playing it. I think it's a great card. I wish there was more foretell cards so I can exploit them even more. Now, let's see what Ben says about Raynor. He states, white-blue spirits is the jam. He's correct, it is. I see the legend pairing well with low to the ground interaction, force of will, negation, and virtue. The white-blue shoals, Swords to Plowshare, Path to Exile, and O-Ring. Various blink effects can also generate a token. I doubt I'd get too deep with Foretell. That's where he and I differ. Behold the universe. Maybe saw it coming. I could see heavy token learning cards such as Court of Grace, Battle Screech, with Coastal Piracy, and a Trident of Thassa, trying to fuel spells that require exile costs. You know what? I don't know if I read that correctly at the very end, but I think we all know he's talking about, if we exile certain cards in our hand, it helps us create +1, 1/1 spirit tokens. You know what? Bravo, Ben. I like your selection. I'm jealous. You stole my pick. Badass selection. Raynor. Now, coming to the podium with the number 8 pick. Dr. Katz. Dr. Katz. Now, this is a guest that I had very early in my podcast. Now, he's an individual whom I wanted to make my Pioneer correspondent. But we went even further. We talked about Pioneer. We talked about Modern. We talked about a lot of things. I'm going to end up having him back for Modern Horizons 2. So now you know I broke some news here. I'm having Dr. Katz on this show for Modern Horizons 2. Now, with the number 8 pick, Dr. Katz selects
Kira, Great Glass Spinner.
Kira, Great Glass Spinner. This is a selection that I did not expect. This is a unique pick. And you know what? I'm not going to besmirch anybody. If he likes this card, it's a good card. God knows we see this card all the time in Legacy and in Modern. And there's a reason for it. Now, let's see what Dr. Katz says and why. Excellent at protecting your creatures and works great in heavy removal. Well, if we know anything, ladies and gentlemen, if you play Commander, aka EDH or CEDH, you know that format is nothing but pure, unadulterated removal. You know what, Dr. Katz? Great selection with Kira, Great Glass Spinner. Now, with the number 9 pick, coming to the podium is Peter Valko. Peter Valko, my boy, the guy who you hear over and over again on my show. I enjoy having his thoughts. He's a funny, creative young man. We're going to end up doing a separate show away from MTG Ectoplasm soon, but you can follow him. I would suggest watching him on Twitch. He goes by Bucketman Forever. That's the number 4 Bucketman Forever for Peter Valko on Twitch. You need to watch. It's a great time. Now, with the number 9 pick, Peter Valko selects
Kokusho, the Evening Star.
Kokusho, the Evening Star. Kokusho, are you kidding me? This is Commander? Oh, Peter, what are you doing here, my man? The things, the evilness that you could do with Kokusho. I wasn't expecting this. Were you? In Commander? Well, there's a reason why Peter picks. He's a unique guy, let me just tell you, ladies and gentlemen. And there's a reason why he picked it. Renata, tell us a little bit more about Kokusho, the Evening Star.
4 generic, 2 black. It's a legendary creature, dragon spirit. Power of 5 and a toughness of 5. Flying. When Kokusho, the Evening Star, dies, each opponent loses 5 life. You gain life equal to life lost this way.
That's an evil card, man. Evil card. There's so many reanimator things you could do with it and sack engines. And, oh, man, Peter, what are you doing to me here? Kokusho, the Evening Star and Commander. Let's see why Peter picked Kokusho. He states here, simply because he's an evil, dark dragon. Well, he ain't wrong. He's dark and he's extremely evil. Throughout history, I don't think there is a spirit more hated than he. I'm thinking. And he's definitely probably right, ladies and gentlemen. Kokusho is definitely one of those evil, sinister creatures, or shall I say dragon spirits in Magic the Gathering. Now, coming to the podium at number 10, the final selection of the Spirit Commander Draft Spectacular is
Dwight.
Oh, it's me. Oh, I get the final pick. Look at that. Hey now. How you doing? So, this took a little bit out of me. I didn't know what to do. What can I say? Ben stole my pick. There was other great picks. I saw them go off the board, and I'm like, damn, who do I go? Who do I pick? And you know what? Something just occurred to me. I was like, you know what? Let me go outside the box, because I'm always sitting in it and twiddling my thumbs. So, with the number 10 pick, I select
Kaikar wins Fury.
Kaikar wins Fury. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Were you expecting that? I know I wasn't at first, but then when I made it the selection, you'll understand why in a bit. Renata, tell them about Kaikar.
1 generic, blue, red, white, legendary creature. It's a bird wizard. Power of 3 and a toughness of 3. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. Sacrifice a spirit, add red mana.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you see, I did not go with a spirit, but I dealt with a spirit-esque creature who creates spirits. And you know what? I thought for a second there, you know what? Strixhaven just came out. It's a brand new set, recent set, and I think it gave me a brand new opportunity to sit there and see if Jeskai Spirits is worth putting together. I saw something in Historic, a young man playing the deck, and I was interested, and you know what? I was like, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, I can pull Kaikar together in Commander. And I'm a little excited because there's a card that I've had in my binder for quite some time that I want to add to this deck, and that's Soulfire Grandmaster. That's right, Soulfire Grandmaster. So, I'm excited to see the shenanigans I can pull with Kaikar Wind's Fury in my local play group. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? What did you think of the 2021 Spirit Commander Draft Spectacular? Did you have a great time? I had a great time. How about you, Renata?
I had an awesome time.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So, what more can I say? You know what? I'm going to say this. From the very beginning, I want to thank you, the listener, joining me on this show. The hundreds and hundreds of you listening domestically, internationally. Without you, this show would mean absolutely nothing. And you know what? I got one more thing to say. To my wonderful, beautiful wife, happy anniversary. We've been married 9 years together. Thank you very much for supporting me and actually supporting the show MTG Ectoplasm. Thank you, dear.
You're welcome.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing more I can say. There's nothing more I can do. The show's over. I hope to catch you guys next time. Remember, follow me on MTG Ectoplasm on Twitter. Email me. Tell me what you think of the show at mtgectoplasm@gmail.com. And finally, don't forget my website, mtgectoplasm.com. For the latest and greatest episodes, please donate and subscribe to the show. You know what? We're tired, right, Renata?
Yes.
Time to have some anniversary cake. Let's get the hell out of here. See you guys next time.
Ciao. Have a good night.